Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Just a Bit Outside Baseball Softball podcast. I'm Bill Peters, and I'm joined by my brother, Raymond Peters. And just in case this is your first time watching our videos, the Just a Bit Outside Baseball Softball podcast is about helping young and up-and-coming athletes reach the next level. So if you're in high school and you want to play in college, or if you're in college and you want to move up and play semi-pro and then hopefully one day as a pro, we want to help you by providing you with solid information, tips, and everything that you need to get that process going. So if you watched last week's video, we've been talking about the college recruitment process and what are some things that you should be doing to prepare him to start that process. And today, I've got two words for you: early intervention. So if you hope to play college baseball as a high school athlete, you need to start when you are a freshman. If you're starting now, when you're a junior or a senior, you're really late. So today, Raymond's going to talk about what you should be doing right now, and then what you also can be doing every year as you progress to your last year of high school to put you in a better position to get noticed by colleges. And like we talked about last week, the goal is to get you in front of them. So I'm going to turn it over to Raymond, and we're going to learn all about it.
Yeah. So thanks, Bill. So we're going to talk mainly about a recruitment timeline. So we talked last week about the number 5 biggest misconception is that someone's going to get you recruited for you. And we really broke that down. And to simplify it, if you didn't watch it, or if you did watch it, just a reminder, the only person that's going to get you recruited is you. And we talked about building that network of reliable resources, but nobody is going to do the work for you. You have to be willing to go do the work on your own. So adding to that, another misconception is the player that feels that I really don't know if I want to play. Some days I do, some days I don't. And then I make the decision, but like Bill said, I'm too late in the process and I'm trying to cram 4 years worth of work into a short couple months. And if you are a senior, it's going to be very, very difficult because all those rosters for that incoming recruiting class are filled. Those kids were found when they were mainly juniors. They were offered when they were juniors. They signed when they were seniors. And if I have roster spots opened, it might be due to injury. It might be due to kids moving on or saying, I'm just done, whatever the case may be. And the fact that you're going into it as a senior probably means there's no scholarships left. So you're going in there as a preferred walk-on. That's a nicer way of saying you can come here, but I have no money for you. So that's basically all that's really saying. So like Bill said, we're going to start this process as a freshman. And the best thing you could do as a freshman, guys, is you are a freshman. Most of you are going to play freshman baseball. Maybe some of you are going to get bumped up to JV. And you're for a very special talent, you might be placed on varsity. But either way, the process is going to start as a freshman. And what are we going to do as a freshman? We're going to start to research schools. Okay, that's what the big thing of your freshman year is. I'm going to record my skills tape. And I'm basically going to research what I like, what I don't like, and I'm going to start to get familiar with maybe what area of the country that you're in. I would say it's kind of unfair to say what line you kind of fall in as a freshman because you're not done growing, and you might hit a growth spurt and your baseball ability might completely change. So as a freshman, you should just focus on researching, maybe starting to form a list, but really just researching what you like, what you don't like, what you're looking for, and that's going to help you in your search of schools to contact. As a senior, I'm going to update my list. I'm going to continue to research. Did I say senior? I meant a sophomore. As a sophomore, sorry. As a sophomore, I'm going to continue to search out schools. I might start actually compiling a list for whatever that is. I'm going to maybe start writing schools to introduce myself, asking about showcases, asking about camps. The thing about showcases and camps, as we talked about in previous episodes, make sure it's a high school camp. Don't show up to a youth camp. Make sure it's age appropriate. Okay, so make sure if you're going to go to a camp at a university or a college, that it is a high school camp. So it's going to be better. It's a good way to get your name out there, let coaches see you, and introduce yourself to a coaching staff, and they can put a name to a face. Okay, and the most important thing is update that skills tape. So then moving into your junior year, the junior year is kind of like the year, okay? This is where Division 1s and Division 2s are going to start to kind of make offers to their top recruits on that board. As a junior, you cannot sign. You can verbal. You can verbal to anyone you want. A verbal commitment does not make it a binding agreement. I could verbal to as many schools as I prefer and to as many levels as I want to. I don't advise you doing that because it's kind of like, what game are you starting to play? And with how big social media is, people and coaches are going to notice that you verbaled here and you verbaled there. So if you want to put something out that thanks them for their offer, that's great. You see that all the time. But if you're going to put it out there that you're verbally committing to, you kind of spoke it out there now. So it kind of, I don't want to say locks you in, but you've already put that into the atmosphere. So if something happens and you don't sign, people are going to kind of want to know why. So if you're going to say, I'm going to verbally commit to somewhere, make sure like in the back of your mind, you're almost, I would say between 95 and 99% sure like that's where you're going to go if you're going to put that out there. If you don't want to put that out there and you do want to put something out there, I would just go with I would like to thank Coach so-and-so and the university for offering me an opportunity to further my education and my baseball career. That's where I would kind of leave it. I would definitely update the skills video. The last thing you want to be doing as a junior is sending them a freshman video. You want to showcase your baseball ability, where it's gone, and also that you've put on some weight, you've put on some size. Okay, so always be updating your video. Do not send out old videos. Make sure it's the best video and the most recent video. And then we could start going on those visits. As a junior, I would be careful of what type of visit I'm taking. You have 5 official visits, and we can break that down on another video, the difference between unofficial and official. But I would start taking some unofficial visits to walk the campus, see the campus, and get yourself familiar with what it's going to be if I choose to continue my education and my baseball or softball career at this school. And then my senior year is the signing year. So at that point, I'm going to basically have my offers in front of me, and I'm going to make the best one. At that point, as a junior and a senior, I want to make sure I'm registered appropriately for all the clearinghouse stuff. I want to make sure I'm actually going to graduate on time, and I'm going to make sure I hit all those dates of what I need. So that senior year is like where it needs to be. The junior year is going to be the biggest chunk because that's where everything's really going to happen. At that point, as a junior, you should kind of have an idea of what type of baseball player you are, what level you could play at, what schools I can academically get into. And my list at that point is going to be very narrow. One thing we mentioned in the last video, and I want to reiterate this, is I don't want to go there. Well, you need to make sure your mindset can't be, I don't want to go here. You could say, I don't want to attend this part of the country, or I'm looking for this. But remember, you don't pick the school until you have an offer. Okay, the school chooses you. So again, be willing to do the research, to put in the time. That's a lot of the timeline, guys, is just you researching schools. Don't just go after the big schools. We talk about that a lot. Everyone wants to play Division I baseball, but not everyone's going to, and that's fine because there's opportunity all across the country. And if your goal is to play professionally, you don't have to play Division I baseball to play professional baseball. You have guys all throughout the minor leagues, all guys all throughout the pros on actual 25-man rosters that did not play Division I baseball. They played JUCO, Division II, Division III. If your talent is there and can translate to the next level, scouts will see you. College coaches will see you. So don't worry about that. Worry about the skill set. Worry about where is there going to be an opportunity. Okay? So that's kind of the timeline. So the big takeaway is search for schools, update the video, make sure you're hitting deadlines to basically make sure you're registered. And if there's a school that you are interested in and you've narrowed that down and you've had a lot of communication, you've had a lot of dialogue, and it seems like it's going to go that direction, make sure you understand the actual admittance requirements for the university. Just because you get an offer from the baseball or softball program doesn't mean that admits you into the school. So make sure you know what the grade point requirement is. Make sure if there's any testing that you need to take, make sure you know that so you're not behind in that area as well. So it's kind of both. And that again goes to the research part. The last thing I kind of want to touch on it's not really so much a timeline or a misconception. I think a lot of people just kind of don't know. And again, this information's out there. It's completely free. You just have to go search it out. And Bill and I will do our best to kind of put that stuff out there so you can find it for yourself. Again, that junior year, Division I, Division II years are going to be where colleges are going to start making those offers. If you're getting an offer as a junior, you're probably pretty high on that draft board. If you don't receive an offer your junior year, don't get discouraged. There's still time. I would get discouraged if you're entering into your senior year of the spring into your season and there's been no communication with anyone. That's where I would kind of start hitting that panic button and trying to figure out what's really going on and what I need to do. So national letter of intents. Once you sign a national letter of intent, that's going to be in Division I and Division II. Those are basically like contracts. So once you put your name and your signature on that paper, you are basically saying, I am going to go to this university. That school in return is saying your scholarship or that national letter of intent only lasts one school year. Okay. So at that point, you don't have to re-sign every year, but the school is obligated to let you know at the end of that season or at the end of that academic school year, are they going to pull your scholarship and maybe give it to someone else? So really understand what you're signing before you sign. Once you sign that, I don't want to say you're their property, but it is a contract. So if you sign and 3 weeks later you decide, I really don't want to go here and I would rather go here and I want to go with this opportunity, you have to file paperwork for that school to release you. Now, depending on the situation, maybe they'll let you go. If they don't, you're going to waste 1 year of your eligibility. So you basically have 5 years to play for. Okay. So the last thing you want to do is to waste that because you signed a letter of intent and they're not going to release you. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to get out of if the coaching staff changes, but realize the letter of intent has nothing to do with the coaching staff. It's between you and the school. Okay. So just because the coaches change or the head coach changes or the person that recruited you leaves and you want to leave, that doesn't really have the legal right to just walk away from it. They have to release you.
Raymond,
Mm-hmm.
so one question that I'm thinking of with that letter of intent, is that pending that you meet all the academic requirements as well?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. So just because a school offers you a scholarship and you sign your intent letter, you still have to get into the school. Okay, so if you don't have the academics, that national letter of intent really means nothing. So you have to be admitted into the school, sign the letter of intent, and whatever their offer is during that academic school year is what you get for that 1 year. So every scholarship is only 1 year. It's not does not guarantee you 4 years of money. It does not guarantee you 4 years of housing or books paid for or whatever is in that letter. So again, just like when you go buy a car, make sure you actually read it. Don't just sign it. I know you're excited. It's awesome. Your parents are happy. Your family's happy. A lot of schools now do the big production in the gym, and they have the banners and everyone's there, and it's great. Before you get to that moment, make sure you sit down with whoever your parents are, your guardian, whoever you surround yourself with that you put your trust and faith in with your career, and make sure you actually read through that before you sign it. Before, the last thing you want to do is to sign something and then not be able to get out of it. Okay. When you go to Division III and NAIA, they have their own form of it, but it's not binding. Again, I don't advise that. It doesn't look good on your part to sign a letter and everything seems great and then just decide, hey, I'm not going to go. So even though it's not binding, if you're going to leave a school for whatever reason and go through another opportunity, you need to make sure you do that appropriately by calling the coach. That's a respect thing. Explain your reasoning of why, and they'll respect you a lot more for that. Don't just write an email or shoot a text message. Those people took the time to recruit you. Those people took the time to try to get to know you and to offer you an opportunity. So at least do your part and save face and just make a phone call and explain where you're coming from and where you still thank them for the opportunity. And, you know, I have to pursue this opportunity because I feel it's going to be better for me. That looks a lot better than shooting a text message and just saying, hey, I'm not going to come. And then when it comes to contact periods, make sure you're doing your research of when schools can contact you. There are dead periods in Division I and II, and we can do videos later explaining what that actually means. Division III, they have kind of contact all year round, and NAIA and JUCO, there really is no communication calendar, so they can also talk all year round as well. You can always be reaching out. The no contact is more or less from the school's part of when they can initiate the contact. You can always be writing them emails or sending them text messages or trying to make a phone call. So when you're doing that, again, Division I, II, they do have those dead periods. So make sure that you are trying to follow those and look those up. And Bill and I can post information to that as well. So besides that, do you have anything else, Bill?
No, I think that's wonderful. Definitely, even in that, like, I've learned something new as well. So a lot of great information, and like Ray said, we're going to be putting it out there so that you don't have to spend time looking around. We will post links, and hopefully you can start the process. And like last time, if you need help, if you have questions, reach out to us, send us an email, and we will do our best to help you out.
Yeah, for sure. So again, the biggest takeaway, guys, is start early, pursue it often, and do your own research. Again, the more doors you knock on, the more opportunity you have to get that yes that you want. It's really just narrowing down the schools you should be contacting. And again, that's being honest with yourself and the people around you, being honest with you about what type of student you are and what type of player you are. And the other thing I want to touch on is, don't try to compare your story to someone else's story. If someone receives an early offer, you know, that happens, and that's great, and that's fine. And, you know, praise them. That's great. That might not be you. You might not get your offer until later, and that's perfectly fine too. You're just searching for the right opportunity and the right offer. So don't compare yourself with who's being offered, why they're being offered, why haven't you? We talked about that last time. You need to find the best opportunity for you. And the best way to do that is, again, start early, start often, do your own research, be honest with yourself, know what you're looking for in a school, and everything else will fall into place. Update that skills video and start trying to go to schools that you think you would have an opportunity to play at and that you might want to go to, and go check out the school, go to camps, you know, introduce yourself. So write the coaches, write emails. The worst thing that happens is they don't respond to you. That's it. You're in the same place where you started. So you got to put yourself out there, and you got to be willing to take some no's and some rejections and to find that yes. And that's perfectly okay. Everyone's been rejected at some point. Okay. So, but that's going to do it for this video. And before you go, make sure you check out all of our show sponsors. BitBrand, custom batting gloves. Use Outside 21 on their website for all stock items. They're going to hook you up with custom batting gloves, elbow guards, shin guards. They're doing gloves now. They got team packs, uniforms. Okay, our promo code doesn't get you any money off of that, but stock items will take some money off. Make sure you check out Hit Factory Athletics. Same thing, Outside 21 across the entire board will save you some money at checkout. And Ray's Decals, custom 3D decals. Guys, if you haven't checked them out, check them out, okay? These guys do the same decals for the Arizona Diamondbacks, San Diego Padres, major universities across the country, Oklahoma State they do, okay? So these guys do quality work. They can definitely bring your team to life on that helmet. So you can save some money using the promo code Outside21 on your very first order. All right, so until next time, guys, take care and keep working.